Hello everybody, Water here. Welcome to this episode of an Oxygen Not Included Let's Play series with the Space Dot DLC. In the previous episode, we finally got around to taming our two gold volcanoes, which should provide us with all the gold we're going to need in the coming cycles. We also started working on a more professional electrolyzer setup, which should supply us with all the oxygen we're going to need until the end of this playthrough. And with that said, let's get back to the game and get started. And we're back at our Hydra. Now before I start adding the hydrogen generators over here, I would like to make a few modifications to the bottom there. The first of which is getting rid of those mechanized airlocks here, since I don't actually need them in this case. Now in case you're curious, what is this all about? For a Hydra like this here to work, you need to make sure that you only have hydrogen or oxygen inside of those channels here, alternating to be more precise. And the common way to ensure this is completely evacuating the chambers and the channels and then priming them with the correct gases. The downside of that is that if you have multiple layers of oxygen and polluted oxygen in here, this can take up to dozens of cycles if you're unlucky. So I, after a while, came up with a way that I don't need to create a vacuum. And there are two parts to this. The first is having the hydrogen at the bottom and the oxygen at the top. That way I don't have to worry about the hydrogen channels at all, since the hydrogen will pressure out all of the other gases sooner or later. The oxygen channels I can open via those doors here at will. So things like carbon dioxide can simply fall through. But the main problem, as I said, is the polluted oxygen. But fortunately enough, by just opening those up, once I have some hydrogen down here, I can bubble through some hydrogen, which will displace the gases in here downwards, and that way I can flush out all of the polluted oxygen. Then I just close the doors, so I'm not wasting unnecessary amounts of hydrogen, and then I can just pump out all of the gases I don't need, and that's why I usually include those doors here. Fortunately enough, I don't need them this time, so I can get rid of a bit of those parts here, so I get some of the involved resources back. Then I can also start closing this up again. And the second change I would like to make is moving this airflow tile 1 over. And with that, I can now grab my liquid reservoir here out of gold amalgam and place it in this corner here. That way I have roughly one cycle of water in reserve once I need to work, or in case I need to work on the water intake, and I don't want this whole system here to stop to a grind. So this is now done, and yeah, I'm just noticing I'm a bit low on gold amalgam. So I think I'm going to start actually digging out this whole swamp biome over here. Now, this here should keep my dupes busy for quite a while. So next I would like to have a look at my gold tamer, since I'm also a bit low on gold, I noticed. So let's have a look. Yeah, as I remembered, I still have a lot of gold just lying around down here and not accessible at the moment. So let me very quickly add some digging orders. And then I'm going to extend this liquid lock here by one step. So I can have a vacuum in there, so the tile here is only temporary. And once I have my liquid lock in there, I can then remove this tile and my dupes can then get in here with some atmospheres. While I'm here, I might also want to clean up this room here. It's no longer needed, and yeah, that is just a waste of materials and space right now. But we have something to print out, so let's have a look at that. Some sand or some additional salt water? Let's go for the salt water. Why not? Can always be useful. And here I'm just, for the sake of it, adding some more plastic to be melted down, as I've been doing over the time. So as you can see, I now have already a good amount of naphtha in there, but still not enough for what I have planned in the future. We have also some research done, so the storage tile, okay, and the whole solid filters. So then, as I said in the previous episode, next I want to go for the Radbold joint plate. So radiation refinement is the next research target. And then I'm pretty much through with all the data pings I have, so I will have to worry about this a bit later. And now I have access to, well, not yet actually, since I still need a ladder down here. Let me just make sure this is done right now. And then I should see a decent amount of additional gold becoming available in just a few moments. So from 16 tons to roughly 20 tons. So very, very nice indeed. And once those here have been dug out, this should be well beyond 20 tons. And the research is done. So now we have the Radbold joint plate that I was aiming for. Unfortunately, we don't have enough data banks for the next research, but nevertheless, let's start with the jetpacks. And we also already have now a bit more gold amalgam, so I can start working on the next stages of this Hydra here. And first I need a few more floors with a power backbone. So I need 3 high floors all the way until I am next to the ATN here. Then I need just a couple of floors. Those 2 are a bit shorter, and then those here are 8 in total. Of course, I need to also get rid of these here. Then while I'm here, let's add 1 more there. I also need 1 of these here, and in this spot, I actually need a mechanized airlock again. With the floors now in place, I can grab my hydrogen generators and place them on top of those. 10 in total. This last space here is reserved for a smart battery. Then obviously I need to connect everything with some wire. Just like this here, and while I'm here also that one. Next I can grab some automation wire and wire them all together like so. And finally with the smart battery. Here I can also add some more over there with an atmos sensor here and a thermal sensor there. I might also want to add some conductive wire here from this at the top there, then over here, like that, over there, and then down here, and then over here. Yeah. Then let's have a look. I can also start placing 1 pile there and another conductive wire here, so I can then connect this for later on. I also can already start with some pipes, and usually what you want to do with a hydrogen generator setup like this is something similar to here, where you're using the hydrogen that's in the pipe to cool down the generator. But since I already have a cooling system here and I will add another one on top of that, I will just go with pipes straight down and not all over the place. While I'm here, I'm also going to remove this pipe here. It's in a slightly wrong position. This needs actually be up there, and then I need another pipe there. So I can separate this and run this first into a gas reservoir over here, and then into my generators. So at the top here, I will also have a pump here. And that will go all the way over here until it goes the bridge into the system or into the hydrogen pipe that's in the output there. I'm also going to need a bypass going into the ATN there. So let me see. Something like... yeah, that should work. Yeah, that looks good. So, and yeah, while that is all happening, I might also want to add already another couple things down here. So, power transformers, 2 of the smaller ones. 1 here, another one there. Then on top, I need 2 layers here with airflow tiles to the sides. Oops, that's a bit too low. Up there, and this one here needs to be 1 further. Then I can remove this ladder here. At the top, I'm going to place another 2 of those. Then I can run them around like this, and then finally like so. then one bridge there, and one bridge. Let's make them actually out of gold. Then I need to connect them. I will have one here. And I will have another one connecting like so. Yeah, that works. So, and down here, obviously those two also need to be connected. And those will be my outputs for a bit later. And before I forget it, I'm also going to need one more here and here. I'm just placing them since not many of my dupes can build them, and I want to do this in bulk. I am also, I leave this open for now, but I can already place one tile in this position. And while I'm here, a pedestal up there, this will become useful in just a bit. And now I can grab myself a large power transformer and rotate it around right in here where it fits perfectly. I also already cleaned up all of the debris that fell in here, so I can now close this part up. And now, next step is getting this here turned into a, well, 2-tile vacuum chamber, where the water will come into play quite soon. So let me remove that. And I'm going to need one more insulated tile over here. And a normal tile up there. And once I have this filled with water, I'm just going to top this with some more normal tiles. And at this point, all I need to do is actually remove this tile here temporarily. Then I can mop up the water, clean up the debris, and then I can close this again and have a perfect vacuum right in here without having to place a single pump. Just like this here. Now with the vacuum chamber done, I can start to clean this up a bit. So let's put in the rest of the floor. Then I'm going to need a ceiling with just a gap so I can get my tubes in there. Then now with that space, I can put in my gas reservoir, which I obviously need to hook up to the pipes coming from over here and to down there. Then in automation, I'm going to add an automated notifier up here, connected with some wire to the gas reservoir, so I get a warning when my hydrogen is too low. Next, let's have a look at the cooling system. So I need to go over, and from here on I'm primarily going to use normal pipes, except up here within the metal tiles. So then up, over, zigzagging. And from here on I will go towards my cooling system, like so. Then down here, I can continue with a bit of the floor all the way over there. Then behind the next floor, behind the next floor, and then behind the next floor. Although this will be for the most part insulated tiles. Then a couple insulated tiles to those sides here. And this here can then be put in as normal flooring again. Just like so. And obviously I need now to get rid of all these ladders here. And now I can grab a gas pump and place it in this corner up there. And also already close up those sides here. I leave this open. I think I will have to get in there a bit later again. So, next I need to get in some crude oil, and I think I'm going to use 3 kilos each. Now I can grab some vents and place them in those 3 spaces. Then next to them I need a gas valve. Those need to be connected with some pipe, as you can see right here. Then on top of the gas valves, I need gas bridges. And now I need to connect them all with some pipe. Not like that. Let's go through here. Yeah, that looks better. And then we go down here, over here. Then I go down. I follow basically this pattern here, and then I go over here to this input. And yeah, of course, my dupes can't reach it anymore. So let's add some letters so I can reach it from the bottom. Although I could just open this up to the side. Nah, let's go from the bottom. That way I can also already make a little gap down here. Which will become useful later on once I fill this here with hydrogen. That way I don't need to actually pump out all of those gases here, but can just push them out with some pressurized hydrogen later on. So, now up here I can also start now putting in some more gas pumps. 2 in each of those reservoirs. They need to be connected for obvious reasons. And they also need an output. So let me see. Yeah, that should work. So let's go out with some bridges and another bridge here. And then I need to go over and then like so. Yeah, that looks already quite good. Then I'm for now just placing some high pressure gas vents here since I need to evacuate this at some point. And now for power. I already have the power wire in the vicinity, as you can see there. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Next up, before I once more forget about it, is adding some temp shift plates out of gold in those 4 spots here, so I have a better heat transfer between the thermonullifier here and the tiles with the cooling loop. Then let's go up here and let's already place a couple canister fillers. Let's go with cold amalgam again. Right here, those are for hydrogen and oxygen. Now the hydrogen I can get directly from below here. So let me just siphon this from this pipe there and then up here. And this one here, I will have to go up here, then over. And the oxygen is in this pipe, so I can... wait, let's first separate in this one here. And then I can put a bridge in there. And another bridge in there. And that should work quite nicely. Is this actually reachable? I might have to, for a moment, just make some space so I can actually reach that properly. While I'm here, I might also already start putting in some pneumatic doors. Also down there. And close this up a bit. I'm also done in here, so I can also close this part up now. And those are almost done. I mustn't forget about setting those here to 0.1 grams per second. And once they are properly set, I can then close those 2 at least. And once I'm done over here, I can also close this one. And while I'm here, I might actually already start with the ceiling. So this will go like so. This is going to be a steam chamber. And I'm also going to need some water in here. So once I have built this and gotten rid of the ladders, I can put in around 200 kilos of water up there. And with that, I'm also done down here, so I already started closing this up. Next up, let's work on this part up here. First, I would like to actually add a bit of a ceiling in here. Yeah, that should do the trick. Yeah, exactly like this here. I am also keeping this open for now so I can get out the debris. I will next add some more wiring. So I need to go up to here, then to over, then I have a gap, then there. Yeah. In this gap I will place a butt plate. And then over here I need some wire like this here. Yeah, that should do the trick. I also need another heavy joint plate here. And some more wire there. So I can power an aqua tuner out of steel, which goes here. And then I'm going to place one of those thermosensors right here. Hook that up to this one. And now it's time for some piping. First I am going to need 2 bridges down here. And then I go over in this kind of circle pattern, like so. Then over here. Then with normal piping, like so. And then I go like this here. And from here on, it's just straight up pipe as this here. Then a bridge there, since I need a vent there. And then I need the input over here, where I can place my steam turbine. And now obviously I need to close this up, not completely yet, since I don't want to get any carbon dioxide get caught in there. So those 2 tiles here I will place a bit later. Nevertheless, I can also continue with the ceiling here. And over here, I can also start adding a couple more tiles like so. Then I'm going to need another valve. This goes upside down. On top of that is the gas vent. And then I am going to need some naphtha. 1 dot here, another dot up there. So let's grab a mesh tile. I'm also going to need a bottle emptier here to get some water in there later on. And yeah, that's looking quite a bit better already. And now before I forget it, let's set the valve here to 0.1 grams per second. Then almost forgot about the pipe down here, so this needs to go over here and all the way to the top, and then connect to this pipe over here and another one to the side there. And this one here I don't need anymore actually. Before I forget it, I also need to build in the rest of this filter here. So that's done, and I need to connect this to the bottom there. Much better already. Then let's put the spot of naphtha right here. And in there, not the string, we are going to need some water soon. Right here. Then we are also going to have to fill the cooling loop now with water. So I'm just going to go with a pipe straight down and going to fill this whole loop here with water. And the cooling loop appears now to be filled, except there is still one piece of pipe that is not properly filled, which can be simply rectified by disconnecting here, then disconnecting here for a moment, and you will see one more package appearing, which was up there for a moment. And I just need to close this up, and now I can get rid of this part here. I also want to remove the pipe here, so let's disconnect it here. And since I don't want the water all over the place, let's just put a vent here to empty it, and then I will get rid of the rest of this pipe. While I was here, I also added exactly 1 ton of water to this area here. And for the last kilogram of water, I will have to add one more tile up there. And since I still want to get in here, I'll have to add those 2 tiles here for now. And once all of this is removed, I just need to clean this up, and then I can also place the last tile in this corner there. And Gosman here just woke up with a bad case of slime lung, which means that very soon we should have our first patient for our hospital. So Harold is coming around and healing our sick dupe, which should now trigger our next achievement. The day got better. Cure a sick duplicant of disease. So, with that out of the way, let's have a look at where we are up here. So you can see I added 1 more kilogram of water at the top there, or roughly 1 kilogram, which will make this a slightly different type of infinite pressure system than down here. Nevertheless, the next part is drawing a vacuum, and for that I need to close this up here. I need to close this up there. And let's see. I need a pump at the top there. Obviously, a gas pump right here. To the top there, pressure vent, and then just some more tiles. So let's see. Just like that here, and here again, just a simple drop of naphtha. Obviously, this needs to be powered, and in this case, I'm just going with some coal power, since it's cheap and easy to build. And yeah, this way I should be able to very easily draw a vacuum here. And once I have that in there, I can think about closing everything down there. But we have an option to print something, so let's have a look. And we have some brine. That's very useful. This will become useful, I think, in the next episode at the latest. Very, very lucky draw right there. While I'm here, I might also add one more tile there, and on top of that, I can place a deodorizer. And yeah, that's looking good already. Come on, let me do the pedestal. And the liquid naphtha needs to be emptied out. And then I just need to wait until I have a proper vacuum in here. Yeah, that's looking good. So now I can get rid of this one here. I don't need that. Rest at the top 2. I can now put in the plate there, and I can start closing this up, and then the last one there. And I can also already place those 2 here. And with this now closed up, I can finally get rid of those parts here at the top. Also the pipe now. And the vent. I still need to add the rest of the ceiling here. And then let's go and add some more parts here. The corner here is reserved for a transit tube access, which will fit nicely in there. The tube will go up there. And now I have some more space for decoration. So an arrow pot in this corner. Sculpting block down here. Then here I can put in some trims. Just adding some decoration where it fits. The same I can put in those corners here. Down here I will have another of those transit tubes. Again some decoration. This time only a corner trim there. And again a sculpting block. And I almost forgot the wire for this one here. Just like so. So that's looking good already. Now while we're here, let's make sure that the settings for all of the parts here are done properly. So I want this to cool down when we are above, let's say, 30 degrees. I want to turn off the anti-entropy thermonullifier when we are below, let's say, 20 degrees. So this one here should run longer than this one here, since if you calculate it in used up hydrogen, this one here is twice as efficient as thermal aqua tuner that's running on clean water. So that's that part done. Now this one here I'm going to set up for above 5 kilograms. The same for this one here and this one here. Now before I forget it, and the battery is 10 to 90. And the last part to set is the gas reservoir here, which I want to warn me when we get below 50%. Obviously I need to make the warning. Hydrogen. And the last part, I think I already set them. Yep, that's also working quite nicely. So with all of that set, I can now start powering this. So these here can start producing a vacuum in there. So for that, I'm just going to add a coal generator here at the top. And once the loading is done, I'm just going to run some wire straight down, and that should be enough to get a good, nice vacuum down there. And now with the vacuum in there, I can finally get rid of these here and replace them with some canister fillers. And now this is pretty much built, but we are not done setting up this system because we actually want certain gases circulating in those structures here with the gas valves. And namely, I want oxygen and hydrogen, which I can get from here. I also want polluted oxygen and carbon dioxide and chlorine, which I can get in decent amounts from here. And I'm also going to need some natural gas, which, if I remember correctly, I can get from over here, from this natural gas geyser. So, first little project for this is getting access to this natural gas geyser. And since I don't want to put all of this into my base right now, I'm going to add a little liquid block right here. I'm also going to work already on taming this natural gas geyser, which is pretty simple. All I need is a box around it. Like so. With a gas pump out of steel this time, since this can go up to 150 degrees. So I need steel in this case, and since I don't want to waste power, Apple sensor and some wire there. Also some conductive wire, and it also needs a pipe for obvious reasons. So that should be quite all we are going to need over here. Obviously I need to get in there, so let's get our hands on that. And while all of this is being built, I'm also going to add a valve, a gas valve to be precise, up here. So I can portionize or control how big the packets are that I'm putting in from the gases here. And all I now need to do is get the gases I want to prime this with into those pipes here. And the natural gas generator is now properly analyzed and primed. I am pumping out, by the way, once I'm above 500 grams. That is by far enough. And once I have a bit in this pipe here, I can snip this off, since I don't need overly much. This is more than enough. So yeah, that should do the trick. Now with this closed up, I can also get rid of the liquid block here and start removing this barrier here, so the natural gas can be pumped out at the bottom of my base. So, but anyway, let's quickly wait until the natural gas is over here. And with this valve set to 100 grams per second, I can now prime the system. For that, I'm going to start with the polluted oxygen, then the carbon dioxide, and then the chlorine. And then, yeah, this is nicely ordered already. But let me show you how this works. So these polluted oxygen packets get first sucked up into this here. And now you have 100 milligrams or 0.1 grams of polluted oxygen cycling through the system here. And these gas bridges here can only push the content of those here into those if they are the same element, in this case polluted oxygen. And well, that's already the entire filter explained, so no real surprise. All that's left is making sure that they are all primed in the correct order, and that's not too difficult, but will take a little while. Also, this one here I didn't explain yet. So what happens is, when the gas vent tries to push out some gas, it pushes this kilogram of water into the ton of water below it. Now, usual pressure of water is 1 ton per tile, so it will push the water, or this 1 kilogram, up again. This directly displaces the polluted oxygen upwards into this space here, up to an infinite pressure in theory. This deodorizer here can reach through the liquid naphtha, grab the polluted oxygen and turn it into some clay and clean oxygen. And that's already the entire system explained. And yeah, so priming is being done. I just noticed, okay, I still need to make output here if something gets into the pipes that can't be properly filtered out. Now I can also get rid of some parts here. And I don't also need this one here. And this pipe here, coming from the bottom, I will now connect to the outputs of my storage system here, so I can, now that my storage is properly primed, get rid of this temporary storage here. And now let's have a look what we can rent out, if I can get to it. Some muck wood. Yeah, why not? Might be useful. So, but anyway, let's very quickly have this built, and pretty soon you should already also see those gases here being properly sorted. And this here is exactly what I was talking about. You can see the carbon dioxide gets removed at this filter here, and the chlorine over here. Here, if it were in there, the natural gas, here the hydrogen, and here finally the oxygen. And at the moment nothing else is being pushed through this pipe, so I don't have to worry about any overflow. So the next step would be hooking up the Hydra to an actual supply of water, then starting it up and hooking it into the power grid. But that is going to take a little while, so I'm going to do this in the next episode. So let's summarize what we managed this time. We concentrated on building the missing parts of this Hydra, meaning the integrated hydrogen generators and the infinite storage for gases. Finally, we tamed our first natural gas geyser over there, and we also started with priming the different filters in here, and are now finally getting rid of all of this whole surplus of gases, and that has been collecting over the last few cycles. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and comment if you would. It really helps with the algorithm. I wish you all a nice day, and well, see ya!